Ken said you can't avoid suffering, and in many ways I agree with him. But I think, and this may be just playing with language, but I think what you really can't avoid is pain and difficulty. I think suffering is the way our minds grab pain and difficulty and make it worse. And that's what suffering is. And I think when Buddha talked about the ending of suffering, he was talking about the ending of the way our mind twists things and actually makes them worse. Buddha actually began his spiritual journey when he recognized the inevitable truth of poverty, old age, sickness, and death. And in many ways we think of those as the core of suffering. But I think it's better thought of as the basic examples of pain. But many times you meet someone who may be poor or sick or dying, who's full of light, open, wide open. Even death doesn't have to be suffering. Even the pain leading up to death doesn't have to be suffering. We have some choice, but it's not a mental choice. It's a choice from our hearts. It's a practice choice. Do we have the courage and the capacity to meet the moment that we're actually in and find some peace in that moment? What is your true self? What does that even mean? Sometimes we use the word authenticity or naturalness, but what really is natural? Is it natural just because I always do it? Is it natural because that's my default position? As a therapist and a Zen teacher, what I often notice, what people think is natural is just what their conditioning has led them to do. You know, there's a phrase in psychology called ego-syntonic. It means that it fits with your conditioned mind. So you may, the classic example is somebody who washes their hands a lot. They have an obsessive compulsive need to wash their hands. And if it's ego-syntonic, it seems right. Somebody says, why are you washing your hands all the time? I think, why not? Why aren't you? That's ego-syntonic. And so we don't really see our conditioning when it fits the mold or the behavior that seems right to us. So we really have to investigate to see more subtly and more deeply who we are and what's holding us back. And that's what we do here in this room. That's why we sit these 25 minutes and chant for the half hour before. That's why we have morning and evening practice every night. That's why we have meditation retreats every month, to actually intensify our practice, to work with the subtlety of our consciousness and our conditioning, to be able to work through it and be better able to have a flexible, open mind and heart when we meet the moments that are challenging. We think we see what's true, but really we see what our consciousness allows us to see. So right view or clear view is pretty amazing, to be able to clear away our own preconceptions and just simply see clearly, hear clearly, taste clearly, touch clearly. We say that in itself is enlightenment. But believe me, it's easy to say and very difficult to actually do.